Stan Van Gundy on the phone. He's on for NBA on TNT tonight. Coach, we're thrilled that you're here with us. We're excited you're on the call. We're thrilled the Kings are on national television. We've met as a fan base, and we wanted to offer you the first spot because it's going to get full tonight, Coach. We want to give you the first spot on the Kings bandwagon.
The first spot on the Kings bandwagon. I like that. I really do like the way this team's playing right now, and they're really fun to watch, particularly on the offensive end of the floor.
So usually when you see teams like that and the way they play on the offensive end, it feels like it's a one or the other thing, right? And some of the things that we talk about, Coach, is like how are they going to be better at the very least down the stretch on the defensive end? Can you have both? Can you have a team that's top 5 in scoring, but at the very least is middle of the pack defensively?
Well, I honestly, the best teams play at both ends of the floor. Right now, the teams that are getting that done, Cleveland and Phoenix are both in the top 5, both offensively and defensively in terms of offensive and defensive rating. Dallas is in the top 10 at both ends. Utah's in the top 10 at both ends. Last year, Boston was, so it really does take that, at least for the teams that are going to contend, maybe not just to make the playoffs, but to contend, you're going to have to play at both ends. And obviously, this Sacramento team's got a long way to go defensively, but Mike Brown has had a history of being able to bring teams around and get them to play at the defensive end. So I don't know how good Sacramento will end up defensively, but they'll be better than they are now. And that offense is for real.
Coach, how difficult is it to take over a team and instill a mindset? Clearly, the defensive mindset has never been here, or at least not in a decade and a half in Sacramento. And you can see and we hear regularly about what Mike is trying to do with this team. How difficult is it for a coach in his first year to change the habits of a squad?
It takes time, but you can already see the progress a little bit. Like there's 3 things I think. Number one, they're not giving up a lot of fast break points. They've gotten really good. In fact, in this last stretch, winning 6 out of 8, they've been the best team in the league. They've given up the fewest fast break points in the league. They're not fouling as much. They're in the top 10 in the league in, opponents' free throw attempts, and they're rebounding the ball extremely well on the defensive end. So those are all good starting points. What's happening to them right now is the ball just gets to the rim too easily right now. They're giving up 55 points a night in the paint. That's going to have to come way down. They are limiting their opponents' 3-point attempts, which is a good thing. Teams have shot it well against them from 3, but I think that could just be a short-term thing. The fact that they're limiting attempts is a good thing. I think this defense will get better. Will it get good enough? I don't know. There's certainly not any shot blocking there, and their guards are going to have to get better defending the ball. But, again, if it could just get to anywhere close to average with what their offense is doing, this would be a really good team.
Coach, the catalyst for this offense, the catalyst for this whole team, in my opinion, is De'Aaron Fox. And he's playing probably the best basketball he's played in his career, at the very least, the best basketball to start a season that he's ever had. What are you seeing from him? I mean, it's 6 years in. I know we see him every year. There's a certain level of maturity that we see from his game. But from the outside looking in, what do you see from De'Aaron Fox right now?
Well, he's always had the great speed and quickness. He's gotten stronger, which I think is helping him in finishing. He is shooting the ball well from 3, which makes it really tough because most teams on his pick and rolls want to go under on him to try to keep him from turning the corner. But when you're shooting over 37% from 3, that gets very tough. But the biggest thing, I think, is you mentioned the word maturity. His decision-making has really improved in terms of his shot selection, which is why he's shooting such a high percentage right now. right around 55%, because he knows what shots to take. He's not forcing anything, playing at an extremely high level right now.
And Coach, I just want to follow up on that a little bit, because not every day you get a NBA head coach that coached against this guy. When you were coaching against him, what was the book to defend De'Aaron Fox? What was it that you would tell your guys, hey, this is the game plan against him tonight? And now seeing him, in his 6th season, has he kind of taken some of those weaknesses away that may have been, on the scouting report against him before?
Well, first of all, the last time I coached against him, I was in New Orleans, and he lit us up every time we played. So I'm probably not the best guy to ask on that. But look, I think number one, you've got to get back and get your defense set, something that Brooklyn does very, very well, because his quickness is virtually unstoppable in transition. You're going to need extra bodies around him. You want to get him going to that right hand as much as you can. Not that he can't go right, but he's certainly not as strong there as you're going to your left. And then the book on him was, you wanted to keep him away from the rim and make him take jump shots. That has not been as effective here early in the year, as he's really knocking down shots from all ranges. So that to me is the biggest thing. And again, like I said, he's not forcing any shots. And so he knows he can get to where he wants to go. He's taking good shots and he's making everything. He's been outstanding. Plus, I don't think it's a coincidence that both he and Kevin Huerter are having easily the best, most efficient years of their career. Not only do they complement each other, but Sabonis has helped them both a great deal. And if you watch Sacramento's half-court offense, when the break is taken away, everything flows through Domantas Sabonis. And he's such a good passer and screener, great in the handoff game. Those guys are getting quality shots. That group of three right there, they have developed a chemistry so quickly. And that's just a tough group of people to stop.
And I'm glad you brought up Domas, Coach, because when the trade for Domantas Sabonis happened, the Kings took a lot of grief for it, and we're sitting here watching this dude play like, man, he is incredible, and we have seen, the offense change. You just named all of the things that De'Aaron is doing. I can't help but think a lot of that is because Domas is here.
No question. I mean, that partnership has been good for De'Aaron Fox and for Kevin Huerter. Look, Sabonis is a great facilitator, and he can facilitate from the high post, from the elbows, and from down in the low post. He can score himself, as we're seeing over the last 6 games, averaging, over 22 a game. And there are only 2 centers in the league that lead their team in rebounding and assists. The 2-time MVP, Nikola Jokic, and Domantas Sabonis. So this guy is playing great. The Kings have done a great job. Those 3 guys fit each other very, very well. And this offense is very difficult to stop.
My takeaway from this conversation, Stan Van Gundy's in the house, so De'Aaron Fox is going off tonight.
Let's go.
Well, he certainly seemed to every time I was in the house before. So, that's probably a pretty good bet.
We're going to send him over to the announce booth before the game. Like, here, Dean, just go say hi to Stan Van real quick before you get out there.
That's about right, guys.
We appreciate you, Coach. Thanks so much for your time. We'll see you tonight.
No problem.